Latest update: Ashley and Tucker offer Billy Jabot, Diane calls Audra a user, and Nate baffles Victoria and Nikki by proposing a merger. Hello friends, it's Adelie. Welcome to my channel and hit the subscribe button for more updates. Wednesday, August 9th, YR Day in advance recap. Audra pressures Adam for reassurances, Billy asks Tucker and Ashley what they're offering, and Abby attempts brokering peace with inside the family. Tuesday's YR Day beforehand. After recounting her tale in tears, Phyllis changed into stunned with the judge's sentence, and Mariah lectured Daniel for judging his mother, in the GCAC eating room. Panicking, Audra calls Nate and asks if there's any news. He says he's making the notion due to the fact. It's an excellent pass. Getting her out of a jam will most effective be a facet advantage, however he desires a few time. Adam invitations himself to take a seat down together along with her and asks if she has proper news. She says it's pending. That seems like stalling to him. He wishes this dealt with by the point Augustus is launched. She claims she has a 2-degree plan with inside the works. He reminds her the general public statement launching the organization could be subsequent week. She wonders if that is going to go away her out with inside the cold, that's dampening her incentive. He idea her incentive become heading off scandal. She says it becomes simply the quilt up of a cowl up and she's nonetheless worried approximately her role. Audra brags approximately her abilities and nervously asks wherein she lands while the businesses are folded together. Adam says she wishes to make it occur first, after which they could see. When she indicates he wishes her as lots as she wishes him, he receives sarcastic. She wishes something in writing ensuring her a role and claims she has playing cards up her sleeve. If he releases the one's emails, he'll make Tucker an enemy for life. Adam doesn't care. She thinks she have to be placed close to the topic. He's positive that he can persuade Nick and Sharon if she proves she will deliver. She's positive they could paintings together. He admires that she places commercial enterprise and loyalty exceptionally else. Audra doesn't chunk the hand that feeds her. Nate joins Nikki and Victoria of their office. He's been going over the Augustus documents and indicates that Adam is accurate in wondering that there can be redundancies. He thinks in the event that they fold Newman Media into it, it might lead them to a powerhouse. Nikki is appalled to listen him suggesting that they defy Victor and wonders what has gotten into him. He doesn't need to 2D bet her husband, however, thinks that is a clever pass. Victoria doesn't need to offer her brother a win. Nate urges them now no longer to take this personally. Nikki leaves them to hash this out and makes it clean she desires the agencies to live separate. Once she's exited, Victoria asks Nate what caused him to rethink this. He's now no longer suggesting they do whatever at the back of her father's lower back. It's simply desirable enterprise. She wonders if he's misplaced religion in Audra. A merger might dilute her power. He claims his recognize has now no longer wavered. This is set keeping off redundancy. Victoria nevertheless issues approximately her brother's motives. They talk what's nice for Newman overall. She'll ought to reflect on consideration on it. However, his ardor is popping her on. They make out. She indicates they get a piece after paintings and he urges her to assume a few extra approximately the merger. Assuring her he can deal with Adam, Nate bumps into Adam on the GCAC and that they right away begin bickering. Adam thinks they're the identical and accuses Nate of being simply as calculating. Adam is aware of who he's and embraces it. He indicates the physician do the identical and walks out. When Nate receives again to Tay office, she tells Nate that the merger concept has a few benefit, however she has one caveat. Billy meets with Ashley and Tucker at Jabot to speak about their plan to subvert Diane. He asks what's on this for him. They figured he's need to know. His sister explains that they may be taking on Jabot after Diane weakens the agency. Jabot will stay a separate entity and Billy can run it. He'll need to record to them, however he won't be below Jack's shadow anymore. Their father could be so proud. Billy is intrigued. She declares they have got an assembly with Jack and want to move. She's pleased while he proclaims he's in. Once they exit, he texts Jack, urging him to be organized for something. Abby stops with the aid of using the Abbott property and tells Jack and Diane that her mother is inclined to fulfill with him. For a détente to paintings, it wishes to be the three of them. No Diane, Jack refuses to simply accept this. Any peace calls for Ashley to simply accept Diane. Abby factors out that having her there'll handiest placed her mother's returned up. Diane is of the same opinion with this. She loves Jack for status up for her. However, if he needs peace, he wishes to simply accept that Tucker is a part of his sister's life. Jack, Diane, and Abby debate Ashley assembly. CBS. Tucker and Ashley arrive. Abby publicizes the great others want to go away so the assembly can cross in advance. Tucker consents to this. He and Jack bicker, however McCall insists he wishes what's first rate. He even asks Diane to have brunch with him. Once they leave, Abby kicks matters off. Ashley asks her daughter to exit. The siblings bicker. She indicates Diane has become him into an insipid fool and he vents approximately how crude Tucker has made her. Abby wonders if she has to set down debating rules. Her mother says that she can be able to fortunately be achieved with all of this and stroll far from the entirety associated with Jabot. Abby attempts to hold the peace. She can't stand to have any extra arguments. Tucker has satisfied her to stroll away and begin fresh. She says if he buys her out, they're finished. Jack is glad too. He is aware of matters are untenable for them. She desires to flow on. They talk what this indicates for his or her courting as siblings. He shows they each discover ways to stay and permit stay. She concurs and desires to flow ahead without being angry. They talk Ashley's wedding ceremony and Jack asks if she might permit him convey his wife. She thinks it over and says it topics to her that she's there to aid her marriage. If he could make that gesture, she will be able to make the equal. They awkwardly hug. Abby's impressed. Once her mother exits, Abby wonders to her uncle if that turned into a touch too easy. Tucker and Diane arrive at society. Billy is there so McCall begins off-evolved poking him. Billy guesses they were thrown out of the peace talks and complains approximately how ill he's of all of the fighting. Billy sneers at Diane. He thinks that Diane will sooner or later pass to some distance and Jack will comprehend Ashley become proper approximately her all along. Diane is ill of looking to show herself, announces she's misplaced her appetite, and storms out. Tucker and Diane encounter Billy. Diane bumps into Nikki on the door. Oh great! They groan in unison. They begin bickering and Nikki admits she'd recognize her if she wasn't so loathsome. Back inner on the bar, Tucker and Billy smirk at every other. They pass over Billy's plans to push Diane to some distance. McCall says they aren't too dissimilar. However, he wonders if Billy has his personal agenda. All of this appears a touch too exact to be true. What does? Nikki asks as she interrupts. She joins them in venting approximately Diane. That female can convey the maximum remote humans together. She factors out that Diane drives humans mad with rage and that they grow to be collateral damage. There's no upside in doing struggle together along with her and she's needed to surrender herself to the reality that she's a part of the fabric. When Ashley arrives, she reminds Nikki to RSVP for the wedding ceremony. Nikki continues to be amazed that they're returned together. Ashley explains she and Jack have labored matters out. Audra bumps into Diane at Crimson Lights. She invitations her to take a seat down and asks approximately her dating with Kyle. Audra tells her how amazing he's. Diane says he's nevertheless in love with Summer and belongs at Marchetti. Audra can't deal with that, however he appears to be equipped to transport on together along with his life. He appears to want a wreck from they all to discover himself. I doubt he desires to align himself with you if he desires to locate himself, Diane says, accusing her of being a user. Audra claims she simply desires to be there for him at a difficult time. Diane is positive she's the use of him and it'll all fall apart. When Diane is going home, she's amazed to listen that the entirety went nicely with Ashley. She says that she bumped into Billy at society and he performed his component a bit too nicely. Is there a risk Ashley has clearly became him in opposition to them?